I finally have Xencelabs Pen Display 24 in my studio to do testing, review, and color calibration tutorial. I know many of you have been asking for that, so this is going to be amazing. What I want to do first is unbox this, show you what comes in a package, what you're getting with this pen display. I'll set it up and give you my first impression. The color calibration tutorial and full review will be coming later on. Let's find out. There's a lot to cover. This is ArtIsRight. Before we start, subscribe if you're new and hit on the bell icon so you'll be notified every time I upload cool new videos like this. Full disclosure, Xencelabs sent me this Pen Display 24 to do testing, review, and color calibration tutorial. All the opinions you're about to hear regarding this pen display are my own. So let's first unbox this and show you what you get in the box. So it comes in this really nice box, and what we're gonna do first is tab open, pull these out, and let's get this into position. Now, what's nice also is that on the back of the box, they also show you all the accessory that comes in the box as well, and it does come with quite a few things that we can look at. It also tells you to please keep the packaging for future use, so you can box up the display, use it for travel and so forth. So yeah, we're gonna do that. Right. So opening up the display. All right, first layer is the foam, and we got this big thank you. This reminds me of when we open up a ArtIsRight color calibration device. Sometimes they come up with this. I think it's really nice. And what you are presented right away is this big Xencelabs Pen Display 24. So what I'm going to do is pull this out, see what it comes with. All right. A couple things about this display is that the apparatus to set this display up to adjust the angle of writing and everything, the different postures are already here. On the back display, see USB-C, there's an HDMI and also display port and the power connections right there. So based on what I'm seeing right now, this is an external power adapter that is powering the display up, but nonetheless, this is really cool. So what I'm gonna do is set this to the side, and I'll talk about some of the function of the display in just a moment. Below that, we have this layer, and this pretty much comes with a lot of things. So there is the controllers that comes with this, so Xencelabs does include this as well, and there's also the clip. This is for you to use to clip to the side of the display. There are different cables. There's pretty much this box that comes with the thin pen and also the regular pen, the adapter for you to link this up to your computer, and all those different nibs, including the adapter to pretty much pull and adjust the nib itself, as you can see there, or pull the nibs out of the current pen that we have. Some additional clips for the pen that you can use on the side of the display, so we'll pull those out. We got a USB-C to USB-A. The drawing glove. And also we got a cleaning cloth. And it's also this Xencelabs sticker, which is really cool actually. It looks like a foundation series, like Harry Seldon thing. All right. This is the power adapter for the display. It's really small, actually. I'm surprised. And it uses a Mickey Mouse type connection, very similar to the Mac Studio that's used. It comes with power for all different regions, so European, China, and also it has the US power connector. So I'll be leaving the other ones in the box, and I'll take out the US power connector. In addition to that, it comes with all of these different cables. So it has a USB-C to USB-A. We also have, this is a HDMI to HDMI. And these are custom designed so that the cable would fold out nicely. We also have a display port to display port. And lastly, we have a USB-C to C. Because I'll be using this for my Mac, I'm going to take the USB-C to C out. I'll also take the USB connector out as well. I'm not sure if we're going to use that or not. The rest of the cables, I'll leave them in the box for now. All right, let's put everything back. And let's get this set up. I finished setting up Xencelabs Pen Display 24, and I have a link up to my 16-inch MacBook Pro via USB Type-C connector. This one single cable simplifies the connection by quite a bit because it's carrying the display signal, the IOs, that's the signal for the USB port, and providing PD power delivery to my laptop at the very same time. Now, if you have a desktop, you can certainly use USB-C as well, especially if your desktop is compatible. Something that's really nice as well because you're still minimizing the number of cables that you're using between your system and also this pen display. During the setup process, I also went to Xencelabs website, download their driver and software to customize the control for this pen display, and the process is very simple. Simply choose the operating system, Mac, Windows, or Linux, download, install it, and you're pretty much ready to go. This one single universal driver, absolutely love it. From there, that software, I can control these 3 customized programmable button on the display, the different interaction between the different type of pens, for example, thin pen V2 or the 3-button pen V2, because on the pen itself there are different buttons that you can customize interaction, and that software is going to be crucial. In addition to that, the software will enable you to customize the quick key that comes with the display as well. Now this quick key is really cool because if there's function that you use a lot in your creative app, for example, if you use Photoshop Clone and Healing Brush a lot, you can simply program that in here and just really tap one of these buttons. It has a name on there, so you're no longer guessing what you're really, tapping on. And you can have multiple set of these as well, which is really great. I'll show that more in the full review video, but I think what you can do in regards to the customization is really great. Also, you have this turn wheel and a center button as well that you can press on. All right, now let's talk about the Pen Display 24. So this is a 24-inch display at the very core. Now there is bezel around this pen display, and the reason why is because if you're using your hands and the pen to really draw directly on the display, when you come to the edge, you want to have a place where your hand is really resting on, and that makes a lot of sense. I also love the fact that this is a truly matted display, meaning that it's barely reflecting any light as I'm turning this towards the light right now. Now this is done for so many different reasons. Number one, to minimize fingerprint smudging or hand smudging and so forth, makes it easier to clean. And when you're using the pen on the display, it's also providing the tactile feedback as well that a glossy display would not really offer. So let's talk about the panel. This is a 24-inch 4K UHD, that's 3840 by 2160, 16:9 aspect ratio, 60 Hz refresh rate, and it has an amazing color gamut coverage as well. 99% Adobe RGB, 93% P3 color gamut coverage. In addition to this, it's also Pantone and Pantone skin tone validated. So you are really getting a great display out of the box. But one thing that I'm going to say is that many times I see creative using these displays, it's not as their primary one, it's as a display that they can draw on. And what they normally have are other displays that are the true reference one. For example, a hardware calibrated display from BenQ, such as the SW series, will be a great companion, like the 27 or 32-inch 4K model, to go with this, because you can really match the scaling and the resolution and everything. I think that's going to be really great. Now, the other thing too about this display is that because it is a 4K, Mac OS is already scaling the resolution by default, and you're going to have to run this scale, because if you run this native 4K, your eyes are going to really hurt and you're going to be close to the display all the time. All right, being that this is a pen display, and notice how I'm using a term display and pen display interchangeably, what I really mean throughout this entire preview is that it is pen display. So with this, what I can certainly do is change the angle where I want to use it or how I want to use this. And I would call this posture. So I can have it up all the way like so. And the way how they designed this is really great. There's this little clutch back here that you press on. So I'm going to just show that a little bit better in the screen, and you pretty much can change the angle of the display, so you can bring it out more like so. You can have it all the way down, or you can have somewhere in between like so, depending on how you want to work. But I think this is really great, because if you have to use this pen display in a vertical orientation all the time as you're doing illustration, your hand is going to fatigue very quickly. And with this, what you can do is lay it down, and this is much easier. It's like writing on a piece of paper. I really like what they have done with this so far. Beyond that, on the display, as I mentioned already, there are 3 programmable buttons here. As you press on those, they will bring up the different functions on the display as you're seeing right now. Let me put this into better view there. So you can call up the different functions, and you can customize this. In fact, you can also do the different switching displays and so forth. And there's so many ways to customize this, and we're going to do that in the full review. On the back of this pen display itself, like I mentioned already, there is the stand, there is the clutch to control the angle of it, but on the very bottom of it, there is pretty much all these connectors that you're seeing right now. A USB-C, HDMI display port, and the power coming in. In addition to that, at the top there is like a sleep wake button, I would say, or like a power button, 2 USBs connection, and on each side there are 2 of these ports right now that you can probably kind of somewhat see. And these are really designed so that you can slide in the holders. For example, I can slide in the pen holders, and there are 2 on each side of the display. So for instance, I can link this up there, and I can have the thin pen just right there, the 3-button pen just like right there. And in addition to this, it also comes with a clip, so I can clip this controller on the display itself if I don't want to have it on the desk. So it makes the whole interaction really streamlined. Now, let's say if you're left-handed, well, it's very simple. You just move this over onto the other side and you're pretty much good to go. So different ways to customize all these options on this pen display. So far, this has been a neat product, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna test this more. I'll give you some of my thoughts about this display, and also definitely, we're going to be running custom calibration on this using ArtIsRight device and also ArtIsRight profiler software, so you can get the best and most accurate color out of this Pen Display 24. So definitely more is coming. Stay tuned to the channel for that. If you have any questions or comments, something that you want me to look at specifically about this display or this pen display, do let me know in the comment section below. Give this a like, subscribe, and hit the bell when you're new, and in art we trust.